Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcro here, aka Scoop, back with the Santa Smackdown 2018. We've got our fourth pull play match here, and we've actually in a position to live record it this time. So my opponent's got a pretty threatening squad. I'm not going to go over his draft and my draft because it's only 8 Pokemon at max, and we're bringing 6, so you guys aren't missing out on that much. I will go over my team a little bit though. I have a Dragon Dance Adamant Zard with dual coverage and or dual stab coverage and Thunder Punch for the Azu. We've got a Life Orb, Modest, Max Special Attack, Max HP, Clefable that we actually let off with, expecting his Camera Up lead. We were going to try to bop it with the Water Pulse. I don't think he will want his Mega Alakazam paralyzed or anything like that. I do expect him to switch into either Mega Camel or the Tentacruel right now. So I'm thinking about clicking Thunderbolt. My best play is to go into Empoleon, though. It covers all of his switches as well as coming in on the Mega Alakazam. We do have a Max Spadef Empoleon with the Shuka Berry with Stealth Rocks, Scald, Ice Beam, and Toxic. So yeah, we're going to do that. We're going to switch out into the Empoleon. As he U-turns out, so that's pretty nice. He's the Zoroark, so that was the Zoroark, pretty nice there. I guess Thunderbolting would have been nice, as he revealed to not be able to hit us with anything super effectively. It looks like he's not carrying poison coverage on the Zoroark anyway. So yeah, he got us there. He will be able to go into basically anything on his squad. I will be able to get my rocks up though. Tentacruel will be able to 1v1 me, potentially. And he goes into his Azu though, so this is a little bit interesting. I could get rocks up here. He could go for superpower. He could go for knockoff as well though. So what's my best play? I could go into, I think going into to my Decidueye is my best play. He could go for knockoff, but Decidueye is my most valuable Pokemon on the squad in my opinion, and it allows me to get big damage off on whatever he goes for, and I can U-turn out. So if he reveals to be Sap Sipper or something, I can U-turn out. I could get my rocks up here. It's a tough play. Rocks are nice to get chip on Zoroark and always know what it's at, and he did lead off with it as Mega Alakazam, which has the Magic Guard ability, so if he takes damage, then I know it's the Zoroark. If he doesn't take damage, then I know it's the Alakazam. So, Stealth Rocks would be nice here, but he could be like a Choice Band set. Oh, it's a really tough call here on this play. I'm just going to do some calcs here and see what like a Choice Band set would actually be doing to, with Superpower to Empoleon. Level 100. Superpower will knock us out if he is like Choice Banded. I don't see a reason why he would be going into this if he wasn't going for the Superpower. So I'm going to go into the Decidueye. And he does go for the Superpower, so that's a fine play there. I do expect him to switch out here. I'm just going to go for the U-turn out as he brings in his Tangrowth, so that's a fine play there. I can go into my Charizard and fire off a very powerful Fire Punch. I can also go into Galvantula, which I think is going to be my better play. Reason being is I can get webs up, and I threaten this thing with Bug Buzz, so he should be threatened out into. He doesn't really have a solid switch into this, so I can just throw up my sticky webs. He might want to go into the Camera Up immediately, and if he does that, he'll more than likely be able to get his rocks up. But I will go for the Toxic on it and start wearing that thing down, because this thing's here really only to get its webs up and Toxic something. I could go for Toxic here and Toxic his switch in, because there's no way he's going to go for I'm going to get my webs up. I think it's my best play as he goes hard out into Alakazam here. Now I don't know if this is Alakazam or if this is the Zoroark. I'm going to click Thunderbolt here and find out though. Best case or worst case scenario, he goes for U-turn, breaks my sash, and goes out into the camera rope on my Thunderbolt, which looks like it's what he's going to do. Yeah, he does go out to the camera rope, so that's a fine play there. I'm gonna throw off a Toxic here. I'm not gonna play any games with this. Webs aren't super important, and I miss. So I miss. So what I was getting at to webs not being super important there was that Tentacruel could rapid spin them away, but had I got the Toxic off of it, that would have been really nice. So what is his ground switch in? He doesn't really have a ground switch in, so I could go into Gliscor here. Let me just check a camera up real quick. Mega camera up. Let's say your max HP. And my Gliscor. Earthquake does about 60 to 70%. And I can take a Fire Blast. And you reveal Flamethrower, so you might not have Fire Blast. So with my Spadef investment, I could potentially knock this thing out with Earthquake. I could go into Clefable here and just fire off a Water Pulse, which could potentially knock him out if he's max HP. That would be insane. I could go into Empoleon here, but it gives him his Tentacruel. Clefable also gives him Tentacruel. I'm going to run some calcs because I do have Thunderbolt and I am offensive. So Thunderbolt could potentially be a 2-hit KO if he has no Spadef investment. And I will be faster. But maybe my best play is going into Gliscor and just clicking Earthquake. I'm going to start spamming Earthquake for a minute and start getting some chip off on some things. As of right now, I've got my Charizard in a really solid position with sticky webs up. So let's see what's going to happen here. He could go into his Tangrowth, but I can Toxic that, which will be fine if he does go for, if he chooses to go that route. Krakatoa, I just realized his nickname there. So, quite a few different things my opponent could do here. I'm going for the damage right here. He's guaranteed to be in Water Pulse range, and then more than likely Dragon Claw range from Zard as well. He can't knock me out with any one hit here. Earthquake gets chip off on whatever he wants to switch into. Prevents Tentacruel from spinning as well, especially if it's not Clear Body and can't outpace me. If it's Clear Body and is able to outpace me, it'll be a little bit different. So he goes hard into his Azu here, and we get a nice amount of damage off, actually. And Gliscor's so good, I don't want to lose it yet. He could go for the Aqua Jet or the Play Rough or something here. I don't expect Superpower. Let's see here. So I could go into Empoleon, not expecting the Superpower. However, he could go for the Aqua Jet or the Waterfall, predicting me to stay in and get some more chip off, or to U-turn out or something like that. So he could go for a Water type move. A good mid-ground play is going for Play Rough. I'm going to go into Decidueye. I'm max defense, so unless he goes for knockoff here, I should be able to lift any one hit. And it's also, if he makes any doubles, I'll be able to capitalize on that. So he does go for the Liquidation here. We're able to U-turn out, which is nice. And we can just click the Leaf Blade here at this point, as he goes into his Tangrowth again. Okay. So now we're going to U-turn out again. No reason to stay in or anything like that. He decides to go into his Tangrowth. Not a big issue. We can U-turn out. And really, I want to say he's going to go for knockoff. So I think our best play is going back out into our Gliscor. and we can just throw off a Toxic here and see if he wants to stay in. And because he doesn't have an Earthquake switch in it anymore at this point, so going for Toxic isn't bad. Ballsy play going for the Leech Seed on my Decidueye though. I should have clicked Spirit Shackle there. I should have clicked it initially. Actually, I should have just U-turned out. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into Decidueye and now U-turn out once again, as we've got him poisoned now. So that's going to be the play. I'm going to go back into Decidueye, see what he wants to go for here. He goes for the Toxic of his own, so that's a nice play there. Not bad at all. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the Spirit Shackle, prevent him from switching. Actually, I'm going to go for the U-turn again. He doesn't seem to have Rock Slide, so I could go into my Zord and just click Fire Punch. He does seem to be more physically defensive though, so he could be invested to live a Fire Punch. He did show leftovers though, so that's nice to know. I'm gonna go into Empoleon here, and I actually catch his camera up upon switching. So he could go for the Earth Power here, and he might expect me to go into my Gliscor. I'm gonna go into my Gliscor anyway, because I live a Fire Blast, and it prevents Tentacruel from getting webs gone, or it has to take an Earthquake here. But he did reveal Clear Body, so he might be faster than me. I'm going to click the Earthquake anyway, and either get rid of this thing and open up holes for Clefable and Empoleon to do a little bit more work, if I can get rid of this thing, or get some big chunk off, or get a big chunk of damage off on it. And yeah, he's not going to let that happen. He's going to go into his Tank Growth, so that's a fine play there. I think we can just we can click Earthquake on this play, see what he wants to go for, as he goes for the Giga Drain. So that's not bad. Toxic damage will add up, so we're just going to click Earthquake again and see what he wants to go into. He might go into his Azu, and we're eventually going to win this exchange. His last move might be Synthesis. If his last move is Synthesis, could that be problematic? So what I'm thinking is getting more chip off on this thing for a second, conditioning him to want to keep clicking Giga Drain, maybe Synthesis here in a second, and I'm eventually going to go into my Clefable and hope that he wants to go into his Tentacruel to catch me off guard. To counter it. I'm going to click Thunderbolt immediately. That's what I'm going to do, and then hope that he attacks me so that I can 2-hit KO him or put him in range for something else. I'm going to click Earthquake one more time, see what he wants to go for here on this turn. We are whittling him down little by little, and he misses a Leech Seed, so that's kind of unfortunate. That's a little bit unfortunate there. But yeah, we can just click Earthquake once again here, as we get big damage off on the Zoroark here, and I don't actually know if this thing gets Ice Beam, but I'm going to fucking check. You believe that? Zoroark. Ice. No, gets Hidden Power Ice at best, and that won't knock us out, so we could stay in here. I think that's the play, actually. Is he's going to trick our item and take our Toxic Orb. So that's a fine play by him, actually. Gives us a Choice Scarf, though, which allows us to outspeed the rest of his squad, even Tentacruel after webs, which is really, really nice. So here he goes into the Azu again. I'm going to go into Empoleon. I've shown Decidueye every time so far, so I'm going to go into Empoleon this time. And I think it makes sense for him to go Tentacruel now. But I'm starting to think I don't need webs anymore. He only has the Alakazam left. Well, I guess I kind of do need webs still, since he does have the Alakazam. And my check in Empoleon has been whittled down. Not really a check, but probably my best way to deal with it. I do have Decidueye with Shadow Sneak as well, and a Max Spadef Gliscor, so maybe I could go rocks here, but if he goes Tentacruel, it doesn't gain me anything. He could also predict me to go into my Decidueye. If I go back into my Gliscor though, well, he can't get a Rapid Spin off because of my Decidueye, so we're actually fine here to just click the rocks. When we get rocks up here, we can prevent the Rapid Spin by going into our Apollo here. And he goes for Substitute, so that's an interesting play. We're going to go for the Leaf Blade, see what he wants to go for here. We have to break this sub. I think Leaf Blade should always break a sub. I'm going to just double check on that. If he's max HP, Leaf Blade always breaks a sub, even if he's got 156 defense EVs. So we should be okay here, and be able to go ahead and click that Leaf Blade here. We should break a sub, like I mentioned. So just waiting on that. See what he wants to go for here. He could go out into his Tangrowth again. He could go out into Mega Camera Up. I am AV, so I will live any one hit from this thing, as it reveals Poison Jab. So that's pretty nice. I'm going to just click Leaf Blade again. I can't let it get a sub up. And it reveals to not be it reveals to be physically offensive, so that's interesting. But let's see how much damage it did to Decidueye. It did 23%, so let's see how much offensive investment that means you have. Poison Jab. Let's see here, if we put you at Jolly Nature, let's say we put you at max attack. So this is a max attack Jolly Tentacruel, max attack Jolly Tentacruel. It's interesting. Can it knock out my Clefable though? And if he is max attack, that means he doesn't have bulk, meaning Thunderbolt still doesn't knock him out from this range, which is a little bit unfortunate. I could go into my Zard here and just click Thunder Punch. Let's see how much that's going to do. Thunder Punch should knock him out. So I'm going to go into Zard here, and I'm going to click Thunder Punch. Because if he goes out into the Mega Camera Up, I'm not too threatened by it. If he goes out into the Azu, it'll drop. I could Dragon Dance here. Let's see here, I can just click Dragon Claw here, I believe. I should be faster. So he lets his Alakazam go down, which was probably best case scenario since he is, since I did have webs up. So he brings this thing in. Gliscor is always my play. He can't knock me out unless he crits me. And Flamethrower is a scary play on his part, as he goes for the, he chooses to not even go for it. Now I could get webs going here, get rocks going, and make things easier for my Zard. I'm going to Earthquake first. Oh yeah, I'm locked into it. I'm locked into it. Okay, so I get a critical hit there, but that still bounces off. I don't think that's going to matter. He could go for Leech here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Clefable, since Leech Seed won't bother me. And what I can click here is Thunderbolt, predicting the Tentacruel to come in. He goes Tentacruel. Let's see if we get him here. Oh, ooh, baby. Oh, baby, that was nice. So we can just click Thunderbolt again. He goes for Poison Jab. Does almost half to us. We are a modest Life Orb Clefable though. Magic Guard keeping our secret, keeping our set secret though. He goes into the Azu here, and at this point I should be faster. What's my play? He could go for a water type move. I'm going to go into Empoleon here, as I can just throw off a Toxic now. As he goes for the Aqua Jet, yeah, I expected that. I could click Ice Beam here. I think that's what I'm going to do, because it catches the Tangrowth upon switching it. And we get that right, so that works out for us. We can click Ice Beam here again. Knocks him out there. And now he's got 2 Pokemon left, the Mega Camerupt and the Azu. He brings in the Azu, so I guess we can just click Toxic here, as we miss, of course. But he does go into his Azu here, and we should be able to knock him out here with the Moonblast. I'm just going to double check, make sure like a max HP Azu drops still to a Moonblast, not a Thunder. I know it drops to a Thunderbolt, but if it drops to a Moonblast, that's what I'm going to click, and it does. So I'm going to throw off a Moonblast here, get some nice chip off on it, and then we're going to reveal Water Pulse. And yeah, it should definitely be in range of Water Pulse there. It's below half. Yep, that thing goes now. So now we can just click Moonblast here. If Aqua Jet knocks us out, that's fine. We can just go into our Charizard, and we should live, and be able to knock him out with the Thunder Punch. And we do live, and we do knock him out with the Thunder Punch. Yep, so that's going to be a good game. We're going to move on from 3-0 to 4-0 with a nice differential. I think it's I think we won 2-0, 1-0, 2-0, 2-0. I'm not real sure actually, but that's going to be it for Game 4 of this of the pool play for the Santa Smackdown tournament. And we'll be back with our bracket play when that comes around. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I will have a pokey paste of my squad down below, so you guys can check that out since I didn't go over it, since this was a live com. But yeah, that's going to be it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.